Hari Om. Today we are going to conclude speaking about prayer, and especially the enlightened understanding of prayer that Mahatma Gandhi had, and the words that he left to us to inspire and guide us as we try to follow after in the way of prayer, to befriend and to adore the Lord. So as we said earlier, the Gandhiji said, God does not exercise panic. He takes his time, although in times of prayer we find that we are in a real rush and wanting immediate service. As this modern day age, we're definitely of what's called the fast food generation, but this does not work in God's world. So the Mahatma said, God does not exercise panic. He too is within his own law. His law is written on the tablets of the heart. There can be no fixed rule laid down as to when a devotional act should take place. It depends on individual temperaments. Gandhiji was purely a religious man, and therefore following the tradition of all religions, he understood that though God is one, many paths will find him. Although, as Swami Vivekananda said, though God is infinite, infinite are the ways to find God. There is no way that is outside of the realm if it is from the heart. So therefore Gandhiji is saying, God's law is written on the tablets of the heart. There are precious moments in one's daily life. These are exercises intended to soften and humble and enable us to realize that nothing happens without His will, and that we are but clay in the hands of the potter. There are moments that one can use when one's need confesses one's weakness. These moments of prayer, we ask for forgiveness and strength to be and to do better. 1 minute may be enough for some. 24 hours is not enough and too little for others. For those who are filled with the presence of God in them, to labor is to pray. Therefore, the very act of our life, the very moments of our existence, are a prayer before God if we are seeking to do God's will. Their life is a continuous prayer. Those who to labor is to pray, their very life is a continuous prayer. Or an act of worship. For those who act only to sin or to indulge themselves and to live for self, selfish means no time is enough. If they are patient and have the will to be pure, they would pray until they feel the definite purifying presence of God within them. So here is actually a confirmation of what Jesus said, that ask and ye shall receive. And we shall receive a palpable, not an answer to our prayer, but if the prayer is actually from the heart and actually a manifestation of our very life, then God will come to us and we will feel our life and our minds and our whole being enriched. And that purifying power will come upon us, and that will be the answer to our prayer. It will cause us to change. Gandhiji continued, for us ordinary mortals, there must be a middle path between these two extremes. We are not as exalted to be able to say that all of our acts are a dedication, nor perhaps are we so far gone as to live purely for self, for selfish motives. Hence all religions have set apart time for general devotion. He concludes by saying, I believe that prayer is the very soul and essence of religion, and therefore prayer must be the very core of the life of man. When prayer is the core of our life, as was so with Gandhiji and so many other great saints from east to west, then what happens by God's will. It's interesting, just this morning I was speaking with someone, and we were recalling something that J. Krishnamurti had said. Though he spoke in such an elevated manner, many people could not understand the gist of the path toward enlightenment that this person tried to explain to others. They were confounded by the eloquence and the depth of what he was trying to convey. So finally, in one talk in Bombay, he said, "I'll tell you if you want to know the secret of what you call my enlightenment, and it is just this: I don't mind what happens." So literally, if we come to the place where we know that we are not alone in life, and that even the Lord, being the source of all, is also the source of what we perceive as sorrow, misery, loss, as well as gain, happiness, and bliss, we will give everything back to God, and therefore we will finally say, as the great Swami Ramdas, who is an avid devotee, an avid lover of Mahatma Gandhi, that great Swami Ramdas who traveled throughout India, calling on the name of God, calling on the name of Ram, he finally said, "Let truth be thy shield, let light be thy guide, let love be thy weapon. Let bliss be thy aim, thus perfect freedom then attain." Hari Om.